Hello, hello. Welcome to Wine Wednesday with the Whisperer. Time management is not my key thing, so we're here now. Anyhow, I wanted to start off. Today we're going to talk about MBI. If you don't know what that means, you will in a minute. We've got a couple of people that might pop in and join us and talk about their experiences with MBI and tell us what we're in for this year. I'm super excited. But first, I wanted to talk a little wine, okay? Because one of the people that's in charge of MBI, which is the Marine Breeding Initiative, introduced me. He's a wine guy, like I'm a wine gal, and he introduced me to wine clubs. And so I went and joined First Leaf. And yes, that's a pretty lame little sign, but that's okay. And what they do is basically I had to answer a bunch of questions about the types of wines that I like, and they sent me three wines based on what they figured I'd like. And I'll just tell you, I don't particularly like Zinfandel. However, they sent me this right here, and it is, there we go, it's heaven. I mean, it is so good. I can't even believe it. And I found all these different wine clubs thanks to Tal Sweet. Thank you, Tal Sweet, for introducing me to the wine clubs. And I'm particularly fond of this one because they have me pegged. But on with the show. Just wanted to do a little whining and dining here. But MBI. Okay, so just to let you folks know, this is a very informal Wine Wednesday. This is going to be a true chat. Anybody can talk when they want, join when they want. There's no special guest. I'm it, hanging out as we planned from the beginning. And I just wanted to share what MBI is about and what we're getting ready to do at this workshop that's coming up. And so you can see some little pictures above me. That's just a random flash. I stole some from the MBI website. I also have a few from the conference last year, I'm sorry, the workshop last year, where I actually took, video and pictures. And so those are a few little clips from that. But MBI stands for Marine Breeding Initiative. And I actually have some descriptions and stuff, but I don't want to bore you with them. So I'll just tell you they have a website and they support anybody trying to breed, anyone trying to learn about a new species breeding. You can go on their website and look at journals of different people, hobbyists, industry leaders, it doesn't matter. There's all sorts of people over there sharing their experience, how they did things, what they did, what they used, how it worked out, their difficulties. I mean, it's when I was faced with trying to deal with a fish that I was not ready to breed, I got all of my answers from that website. And so there's a website. In addition, they hold a workshop every year, and basically they bring together speakers who, you wouldn't believe the things that you can learn from these speakers. It's absolutely amazing. Last year there were people from public aquariums, there were people from, there was a conservationist. I don't know if I'm supposed to name names or not, so I'm not going to, but you should go to the website and look at last year's pictures and different things. They're all over. MBI is on Facebook. They have their website. They're all over everywhere. And they're a very good organization that help people breeding. I'm a little bit talking fast and nervous, I know. So that's the basic idea. I have a story to tell, but first I wanted to say hi, Lucy. Hi, Craig. Anybody again who wants to join, feel free. Craig, what are you doing? I see you doing some weird stuff.
Well,
That's
I
not
sent a link
Craig.
off to Tina.
Oh, that's Tina. Okay. Hi, Tina. I bet she's gonna
No, 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 no. She's still in chat. The link's been sent. Dan popped in. Dan the man Levitan.
Oh, hey Dan.
Can
I'm
y'all
getting
hear me?
Yes. What you doing?
I'm collecting, so I'm got the camera off while I'm pulling nets.
Oh, your camera's on, so we see you pulling this. But
Do you?
mm-hmm.
Is the camera on?
Yeah.
I thought I turned it off.
Okay, now you're off. But I mean, it keeps coming on and off. I
It's
think
all right.
it's
Nice view.
That is such a good view. I want to see the boats, but you know what? I think it's
I'm not in a
because
boat.
you're not. I saw a boat.
No. I don't know. Is it showing now?
Yeah,
Yep.
there's
All right.
Dan. And just to let you folks know, in case you don't know who Dan is, that's Dan Underwood of Seahorse Source. He will actually be a speaker at this year's Marine Breeding Initiative workshop. We are going to talk more about MBI. I'm just trying to gather people in and let people get comfy here while we sit back to
Oh,
chat.
there we go.
But Dan will be speaking. I don't know if he's announced the topic of his talk, but he is a good example of someone who will be at the workshop speaking. And one of the things I really, really like about the Marine Breeding Initiative workshop versus some of the other events, because I love all the events, but at the MBI workshop, it's a close-knit, focused group, focused on breeding at any level, whether you're industry leader or hobbyist, but it's a focused topic. So you can go and ask questions of people who are doing the same things that you're doing and get help and see their ideas, see how they're doing things, see how things are done at the commercial level, things like that. So Dan is a good example. He's going to be one of the speakers. Colby will also be speaking. That was just announced. I'm super excited. If you don't know who Colby is, he's the Sea Dragon man, and he'll be on this channel soon too. But I want to tweak some things before I get him on. But anyhow, so I'm looking forward to this workshop. I'm going to pull up some things to read you, but that's right. Craig, feel free to tell me if I'm rambling endlessly and shut me up. But I wanted to tell a story from last year's. Craig, can we maybe mute Dan while he's doing cool stuff, but it's heard?
Already
Is that
done.
possible? Thank you, sir. I'm sorry. Okay, so here's my story from last year's Marine Breeding Initiative workshop. Okay. So you have to understand that I'm a seahorse person. And while there's good information offered to anyone that wants to know anything about breeding when you go to this workshop, it's a little bit different when you're talking about eggs, collection of eggs, and, breeding of fish that don't have their babies the way that seahorses do, to put it in a very blunt way. I don't have to deal with eggs. I have, live birth seahorses. They're, it's a lot easier. Well, I shouldn't say easier, but anyhow, getting on with the point. So I went, and I don't know exactly what I expected, but I did my usual wonderful job of sending some of the people that I knew were going to be there my 200-page messages. And Todd Gardner, is that how you say it? Garner? Anyhow, he now avoids me like the plague. I'm kidding, but I sent him an extremely long message asking him a bunch of questions. His response was, "Hi, let's talk about that at MBI." And when we got to MBI, I went in expecting one thing and being blown away by the level of information and the people that were speaking there. And like every time I would see Todd, he would do this, "Oh, hi, Kelly. Yeah, I know we got to talk. But later, and disappear." And if he's watching this or sees this, I hope you laugh. But I'm kind of joking because he did take the time. And the really cool thing is all of these people that are at this level of experience and knowledge and have done this for years or at a different level, they really will actually take the time to stop and answer your questions, even when they're stupid like mine were, and they will take the time to speak to you and help you understand and help you with whatever you're trying to do. These people care about the progression of breeding in the hobby. I mean, that's why they're there. That's why this is happening, is because they care. And so it was a unique experience. I got to meet Victoria Crow. We went in, and we were kind of lost at first because, and I hope she'll agree with me, because we were a little bit out of our league, we felt, because these people were, talking eggs and things, but they welcomed us open arms. They explained things we didn't understand. They focused on things we had questions about, even though it wasn't the topic. And after all of the talks and after hearing what these different people were doing in the industry and in different places, then the next day is, of course, the barbecue at Tal's. And I'm not even going to go any further. It's so fun, so much fun. It's not even, I can't even tell you. You got to go and you got to experience it to understand. And that's the chance for, you're no longer sitting and listening to these people talk and explain what they're doing. That's your chance to really get to know these people and, connect on a totally different level so that, you know each other and they can help and they will. And it's just a really cool experience. But last year I went in, I felt a little bit out of my league. They welcomed me open arms, and that's why I would advise anyone that's interested in breeding anything to go. Now this year, since Dan and Colby are both speaking, that's why we're going to try to hold the first Seahorse and Pipefish meeting during the barbecue, because of the fact that we're going to have people there that are really focused on seahorses this year, or on signathids this year. So I'm rambling, I know, Craig. So if you do you have had you I got a question actually for Craig. Craig, had you ever heard of MBI?
No,
That's
unfortunately, Canada, we're like cavemen up here.
well,
We breed seahorse good.
what am I doing drinking pop instead of wine? Silly me. Well, it's interesting because when I talked to Tal, he made the comment that he thought that everybody knew, what MBI was at this point. And I've run into, I don't think it's just Canada. I think a lot of people don't know. And I will put the link to the MBI site and the
Mhm.
MBI workshop in the comments when I'm done with this. And I'm going to try to start looking at different questions here. But yeah, that's why I'm doing this. I don't want to get up here and act like I run it, because I don't. And so I can't really tell you the details about the organization, and I can't tell you, I can just tell you my experience going, but I can tell you that it's worth going to, absolutely worth going to, even if you're not breeding, frankly, just to learn. These
I
people are
would
fascinating.
encore. So
Yeah. No.
if I could take my wife to something, she would flip out
Well, and
because that's her thing, right?
yeah, and well, I just I wanted to do this so that people could come in, ask questions, ask what it's about, and I can do my best to answer it from my perspective. And Tal might jump in the comments if he's available and has time. I don't know that for a fact, but point being, I wanted to make sure that everybody knew what I was even talking about, what this event even was, and let the Seahorse people know. Wait, I can't read that. It was a joke. Okay. Anyhow, let the Seahorse folks know that it's the year to come. If you've ever wanted to go to the workshop and didn't for whatever reason, this is the year to go, because we're gonna have some people specific to seahorses. I'm actually looking on the site as I'm talking to you. Like I said, this is going to be really laid back, guys. I'm just hanging out today, but and drinking some wine. But let's see, it says the Marine Breeding Initiative was created as an online tool to encourage marine aquaria hobbyists to get involved in the captive breeding of marine organisms. See, I left that part out too. They're very focused on that. Sorry. The MBI was designed with the help of leading experts in the breeding of marine ornamentals realm, I probably read that wrong, to be a standardized database and award system that can be both fun and freely accessed by everyone. Open source sharing of information is vital to the MBI's core principles. And, that just kind of goes into what I was saying about they welcome everybody. They're going to help you no matter who you are or what you're trying to do, and they want you to share your experiences too. So it's a really cool thing. Dan, what are you able to talk at this point? Guess not. If Dan can hear me, whenever you're able to talk, I would love for you to give a more professional thought or words to or description of the MBI and what it means. You know, I don't want to sit here and read to people. And I've honestly only been to one workshop. While it was no, it's not management buy-in, Rip Van Winkle. It's I saw that. It is
All right.
Marine Breeding Initiative. And let's see. Okay, I'm not even going to read some of the things that people thought MBI stood for. So now we all know it's Marine Breeding Initiative, and you know we laugh and joke, but this is seriously a really good thing. And these people work really hard to put this on. And while I look for a little few more things that I wanted to say, Tina, how you doing, hon? How's your seahorses?
Good. They're doing good.
Are you
And
gonna?
I'm gonna answer Lucy here real quick and just let her know.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to pull you away.
Oh no, you're completely fine. I'm gonna take you guys over to the tank here.
Yes, well, we watched Tina's seahorses. These are new seahorses from Seahorse Source. I'm just going to make sure, because I had some facts to cover and I was so rushed to get here that, you know, I wasn't prepared. So we'll look at Tina's seahorses here in a second, and then I will get myself together. Go ahead, Tina.
She's working it.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm trying to get the camera to turn around here.
I wanted to
Okay.
tell who else was
Great.
speaking too, so that's what I'm looking up.
So if you want to present her so she can.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Doesn't have to talk to keep her going.
Yes, I'm so sorry. There. Now we're on Tina's reef. I'm sorry, guys.
No, not
This
quite.
is Miss Thelma.
Oh, she's so pretty. I love her. Oh, look at the Siri. I'm jealous.
And then there is Louise.
So you went with two females?
Yes.
Good choice. I would personally say, but beautiful.
Well, I already told you I don't want babies. So.
Right. And have they eaten yet, or how?
Yes. They didn't eat their first feeding for me, but they have eaten twice for me this afternoon and this evening.
Awesome.
They did really good.
Tell me about your experience. Tell me about your day. How did it go? Did Dan help you with putting them in and stuff, or were
Did
you
it all by
set?
myself.
Yeah, I knew you would. You're awesome.
I had to get the syringe in there. The little, let's see, Thelma, the Siri, I think is what you called her, right? That one there.
Siri is the little spikies. They're little spikies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's my little hunter. She'll like get down in the sand and like dig around and stuff like that. And if she sees her mysis, she'll snick it up. And then this little one here is so shy, but as soon as I put the syringe in there and blew some of the goodness in her face, she came right up to the syringe and ate right off of it.
That's so cool. Yeah, see, that's the benefit of going with, seahorses bred for an aquarium. Captive bred seahorses are going to get accustomed to the tank a lot quicker. They're going to be shy, but, eating right, you'll have her eating from your hand in 2 days.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
I'm sorry, I missed it. What'd you say?
Oh,
Ben.
she looked.
But
Nope.
from this little one, she'll go over here on, but she kind of likes to sit in this area and stretch out as far as she can. And if she can't reach it, then she won't eat. And I'm like, no, we're not going to have that. So I definitely want to get them on the syringe feeding. That way I know for sure how much they're eating.
Mm-hmm.
And, the fact that to sit there and watch them eat and to know how much they're eating, then I can specifically say, I've used a whole cube today and this is how much they ate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely keep records and and that'll help other people too. We already talked about maybe doing a collab if you have time on that, but yeah, definitely that's so smart to approach it that way, and I think they're beautiful. I think you're doing such a good job.
Yeah, it's my first day, so we'll see.
You're
And
fine.
don't give me too much credit yet.
They look happy to me. They're not. They look like they're doing really well, especially for first day. Are you kidding me? Look at her. She's like, yeah, I can tell she's the hunter. I
She
can
is
tell.
looking, boy.
I know it.
She's got those little eyes going, boy.
What's her name again?
That's Thelma.
Thelma, and the other one's Louise.
Louise,
I love it. Thelma and Louise. I love it. I know what I get it. Some of the younger folks might not, but they're beautiful.
I've had some folks go, "Why'd you name them that?" I'm like, "Go watch the movie."
That's right. That's right. Speaking of which, I want to keep. I'm going to leave you up because as long as you're willing to show them, I want to see them because they're adorable. But speaking of which, I did want to make it clear too to anyone that comes to the stream and is interested. I did want to have a little chit chat about what we might be doing at the Seahorse and Pipefish meeting at MBI, and talk a little bit more about the events and Dan's speech and stuff. But I did want to make clear to everyone, you should very much buy tickets and come if you are able. I will not be streaming. I might tape it for things later, but I will not be streaming any of the speeches or any of the talks because these people work very, very hard to put together this workshop, and it kind of defeats the purpose if I share it with everybody that doesn't come. You know what I mean? So I will probably stream the Seahorse and Pipefish meeting, because that's something done on the side. But if you want to hear Dan's speech as he speaks it, you need to come. You can see it later, of course, but I advise everyone to buy a ticket and come because it's going to be fun. And just to mention, the speakers this year so far, Tal is very good at keeping us in suspense. And if you go to the Facebook MBI page, which I will also link in the description, they announce speakers. They kind of tease you with them and give them to you here and there. It's a good approach, but I still am anxious every time. So we've got Matthew Carberry. Excuse me if I misspell or mispronounce names. I apologize if I do. But we have Matthew Carberry, who is the president and CEO of Sustainable Aquatics in Jefferson, Tennessee. He's going to be sharing everything he knows about pelagic spawner progress. We need to know that, Read-Eye people. All right, and let's see. Colby Johnson has not announced what he's speaking about yet, but I guarantee it's going to be good. Colby, aside from being the Sea Dragon Master, is also extremely... You want me to take this off you, Tina? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. I'm all done, hon.
Okay, and I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. I want to go.
No, you're fine.
I want to come back to it.
You just wanted me to show them. Well, I'm gonna turn their lights off now because
Oh,
it's getting
okay.
late. So.
Sure. Yeah, keep them on the schedule, and we're gonna do more. I want Thelma and Louise to join us for many Wine Wednesdays. But I don't know, Craig. I'm not really sure how to make this juggle by who's talking. So.
Okay, now what did you just say? You said you wanted what?
I just said I want Thelma and Louise to join us for many Wine Wednesdays.
Oh, okay.
And you, of course. Anyways, for those of you that don't know Colby, in addition to being this awesome person, he also, with a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge and a lot of time in the industry, he also has, is it the leafy? I don't remember the exact species. I'm unprepared, sorry. But he actually has sea dragons. He's one of the few, and he's working on breeding them. And he also does some other things. He has a very, very good quarantine procedure. He's extremely good at quarantining and diagnosis and things like that. So I'm hoping that his talk will be related to that, but since it's breeding, I'm not sure what he's going to talk about. We will have to wait and see on the MBI site. And then, of course, there's Dan Underwood, who is actually with us tonight, though he's collecting, I'm guessing, live foods. But he's the owner of Seahorse Source. It's a small family-run micro hatchery for seahorses. It's been in business since 2005. He's been a speaker at MBI before. and maybe he'll clue us into what he's gonna speak about when he's able to join us here in a moment. I need to show my really cool Seahorse Whisperer shirt. Sorry. Okay. All right. I'm done. Anyhow, we also have Ramon. I'm not even gonna try it. Villavrde.
Velarde.
Velarde. Thank you. Okay. He is going to talk about aquaculture on a budget, the art of repurposing. Come on now, who doesn't need to hear that? Come on. All of our DIY stuff. Ramon has been a professional aquarist, marine biologist since 1997. He graduated college with a BS in BS in zoology and ecology. He started his career at SeaWorld, Ohio. He's now working for Discovery Cove and SeaWorld Orlando. Oh, I'm sorry. He currently works at the Columbus Zoo. I'm sorry. Excuse me. And he focuses on coral conservation, marine ornamental aquaculture. He teaches scuba diving. Oh my gosh! Can I sign up for lessons? I want to learn scuba diving so badly. I want to get out there and do the real research. I got Lucie collecting seahorses and learn about them. I want to go down there and dive and see them and help in ways that I can't right now. But anyhow, so those are the speakers that have been announced so far. I'm sure there will be more. You know, it's just going to be an event to remember. And so as far as the Seahorse and Pipefish ideas, first of all, the seahorse.org, which is still very active and people should join it if you're a seahorse person. Seahorse.org has a wealth of good information. Some of it's older, but there are still people actively running that site. So go there. And what I was going to say is, though, they have kind of, I don't want to say dropped off, but, people have lives, they get busy doing other things. And they used to hold these get-togethers where I'm not sure, I never had the opportunity to go to one. Again, maybe Dan can tell us a little more when he comes back. But what I've heard is they were a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And they had like dress up parties, and it was more that they would go to certain events and get together on the side. And so Saturday night, of the workshop, which is, I believe, is July 21st, right after the speakers, and then there's a dinner, and then we're going to have a shindig such as the seahorse.org kind of shindig. We're going to basically get together, have some fun, and just, talk, and wine will be involved. Let's just say that. And then on Sunday, but kind of during the amazing barbecue where everyone gets, to do what they want, we're going to hold this meeting. Now, I've asked on my numerous different channels what people would want in a meeting. So, Tina.
Yes.
Since I have you in here right now, excuse me, what would you, if we started holding Seahorse and Pipefish meetings, like annually maybe, or maybe every, 6 months or something, what would you want to see, hear, learn, experience at a meeting for, like, when I say meeting, I mean like a Reef Club meeting is what I mean. So what would
I don't know because I really don't belong to any, and I'm definitely new to seahorses.
Right.
So
So what would help you?
say, as a newbie, I'd want to know everything.
So get some experienced people involved to, maybe talk.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I was thinking along those lines. I was thinking of having, because Dan and Colby are already going to be speaking at the workshop, but having, I know on Seahorse Sources group on Facebook, they have a topic of the day where they, he asks a question and everyone puts their answers or follows the question, and then at the end of the day he puts his response, There's no really right or wrong, but you get to see what he would do in the situation. So I was just thinking of maybe trying to pull that in somehow, and do something. I'm already considering doing the live stream of it so that people around the world can attend this meeting. So I'm planning it. I'm looking for ideas. It's not, I have nothing in concrete at this point. So if nobody jumps in tonight and wants to talk, then definitely get on one of my posts, message me, whatever, if you want to be involved. If you have specific ideas that you'd like to see happen at a meeting, because, everyone should be able to attend if I do stream it. And that means that everyone from around the world could share. I just want to make sure that I keep it focused on what you guys want versus what I might want to do. So
Yeah.
annually at MACNA, CoralVid says annually at MACNA. We are also having a Seahorse and Pipefish to get together at MACNA. We're going to do a special Wine Wednesday to talk about MACNA. So we're just, and it will be a little more professional than this. MBI deserves more professional than this.
That's right.
But
It's the fundraiser to get Craig to Macna. That's what it is.
hey, we could do this, Craig. We could do a fundraiser to get Craig to MACNA. That would be awesome,
Yeah.
right?
I can't go.
No, we
can't?
know.
I probably wouldn't even be able to make it to the one in July.
It's in Michigan.
So, yeah, where and how far away from me?
I think it's a couple
And how
hours.
far-
We figured
And
out
how
that.
far do I have to be away from Mark?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot about that.
With his stroke and that, I can't be too far without extra help.
Well, and that's completely understandable. I understand some people can't go. That's why I was saying, for the speakers and for the hard work of the people putting on the workshop, that's one thing.
Where in Michigan?
It's at the Cranbrook Institute, I believe. Let me just look and tell you. Shall I? And I will put all these links below once we're done streaming. The venue.
Cool.
Okay, Cranbrook Institute of Science. It's on Woodward Avenue in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan.
Hills. That's my last name.
Hey, see there, I'm feeling the sign. I'm feeling the sign.
Maybe it's a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bloomfield.
But
That's only a couple hours away from me.
cool. Well, I mean, I would definitely say that if you are able to make it, come.
What dates?
It is on the. I don't want to say anything improperly here, so let's get it all right. It will be. It's the 9th annual. It's okay. So the workshop is July 21st. That is the Saturday. That is when the speakers, we actually meet at the, and I'm saying it incorrectly. Let me back up. I'm sorry. On the 21st, there is a workshop in which the speakers speak, and they have a bunch of giveaways. They have a bunch of, they have lunch, and it's at this Cranbrook Institute of Science. The barbecue on Sunday is at Fishtail Propagations, which is Tal's. And so it's actually two different places. You can just attend the workshop. I think you can just attend the barbecue. So it's one of those things where you can go to all of it, you can go to a little bit of it, whatever you're going for.
Barbecue in Bloomfield Hills as well? Or is that a different place? No?
It's, you know what? Oh my gosh, I don't want to tell you wrong. I know it's not the same place. But it's within, I can tell you because last year I almost missed it because I was stupid. I didn't take a car. I didn't rent a car, and I was totally dependent and on the last nerve of Victoria Crow, who had to drive me around everywhere. And she went to a coral thing early in the morning on Sunday to visit this coral place, and I almost got left. So, anyways, it's not the same place, but it is close, like within 20-ish minutes.
If it's in the same town, then that'd be okay too, probably.
It might even be.
I don't think I'd be able to do both days. July 21st is my husband's birthday.
Oh
So you
no.
go up for a birthday dinner and you go talk about seahorses. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't think he would have that.
Well, you know what? Let me check with Tal and check. I mean, and on the website, you can probably. We'll talk later.
Yeah, I
I'm
was just gonna say, yeah, just shove me some websites, send them to me on Facebook or whatever, and I'll
absolutely.
see
I was
what I
gonna.
can do, because I got a daughter getting married. I got a daughter getting married in August too, so.
Gotcha. I mean, family first, of course, of course. And the other part is that that's why I was saying, of course, I'm going to tell everybody that they should come to the workshop because um, you're not. There aren't going to. I'm trying to think how to say it. Sorry. There aren't many opportunities to hear these professionals speak about specifically about breeding. This is, and you get to learn what they're doing at public aquariums. You get to see how things work. It's just so amazing. I can't say enough good things. And so that's one thing that I'm telling people to come to. But as far as the Seahorse and Pipefish meeting that we're going to have on Sunday, if I do end up streaming it, um, then you could still attend, even at home.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking. I mean, I need to talk to Tal about that further, but I'm pretty sure he wouldn't care if at least, if just the meeting, parts of the meeting, something like that, maybe a portion of the meeting was streamed so that other people could be involved. I'm just thinking, because my goal is to somehow unite people around the world so that we can, you know, share our experiences and learn from each other, So, I don't know. Sounds like a big mission. I'm gonna get a
It can
superwoman.
be accomplished.
It can be, and I can't do it by myself, so I appreciate everybody helping, and anybody who wants to help, let me know, of course. And I'm just kind of looking at comments here. Uh, Coral Vids is doing an excellent job of professionally putting the information in the chat for anyone who would like to know. Thank you very much, sir. And I will put the information below once we're done, also. But, whoops, I lost where I was. Sorry. But anyways, I'm trying to think. I also, in the pictures, if you can't see it, hopefully the slideshow above me is playing, and you can kind of get an idea. Like right now, you're seeing one of the talks, and you can see they go into detail and they show you what's going on and what they're doing at their different places of business or at their different levels. Last year, I believe it was Chad Boss. I don't want to say any names incorrectly here, but I learned so much, and this is going to sound crazy, right? But I went because I wanted to learn more about breeding because I was trying to breed seahorses. That was my goal. I got to meet Victoria. We learned a bunch of stuff about breeding, and we helped each other, and we were able to, get what we wanted out of the workshop. But in addition, I got to meet people like Chad Clayton. And Chad Clayton was, took the time to sit beside. I can't talk tonight. I'm sorry. Chad took the time to take me aside and talk about, different harvesting of copepods and, different things that were coming up with live feeds. He helped Victoria. I know that Victoria ended up getting one of his new contraptions. I'm just going to say contraptions to help with live feeds. There are all of these other things. All you see when you go to the site is that there's going to be speakers, but you just don't have any idea how much other things you can learn and how many people you get to meet and connections you make and stuff like that. So it's just definitely worth going. Let's see. I'm looking to see. Y'all talking in chat need to get in here and talk. Jiminy. Gosh. Leave me all alone here. And I'm not even sure if we're seeing Facebook comments. I know Lucy's in and out, but okay. Well, let's see. What else can I tell you guys? I'm trying to think of my personal stories. You probably don't want to hear about me being left. Oh, Tammy Wise was also at MBI last year. I hope she will be there this year. I didn't get much time to actually talk to her, and she was one of the main reasons I went last year. So it was disappointing, but of course, these people haven't seen each other in a long time, and everybody wanted to talk to Tammy. So, you know, I understood completely, but she's the one that I had to call at the very last minute and say, I don't know how I'm going to get to Tal's. Help, help, help. It was kind of a crazy year. I would advise you to rent a car, or Tal, I think,
Get a
is.
GPS.
Yes, definitely. I know on the website he has started some little thing where he's trying to help people coordinate together so that if there's only going to be if there's going to be someone without a car, you can carpool to get there, carpool while you're there. He's really gone out of his way to try to set things up to help people get there and get around. So, I can't give enough credit. And let's see. What else can I say? What else can I say? Craig, what you doing?
Just laughing.
Laughing at me?
Eddie's cracking me up right now with his taco.
Oh, I'm being a goof in chat. That's all.
Quit being a goof in chat.
I
Because
can't help myself. And the fact that you mistake your rambling. There's nothing you're saying that is bad. You're just. I don't know. I have a different cadence to my streams. That's all.
well, come on, help me out here.
Well, it's hard. You're at a disadvantage because simple fact is nobody else is talking, right?
I know. I know. I feel like it's always.
Well,
like
I don't know what to talk about. I'm here to learn.
I know,
Yeah.
honey. I know. I wish.
It's hard on you when if your guests fall through too, right? So that always makes it tough, right? I have one guy I've been trying to get back in since I got things going again. He's gone away. I got another one. He went away. But I was having a good chuckle. I was talking to Cruz. Cruz sends his regards. Can't be here tonight.
I know.
Is he feeling any better, Craig?
He's feeling okay. He's got his kids up from California.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, so. And I talked the wife into making pineapple pork tonight, so that's going. I got things on my mind too. And I was talking in my little warm up stream to you tonight. I just got my main rig back, so all my horsepower is back in the house for my computer stuff. And I was kind of. There's a train going behind.
Yeah, that stupid train.
Is it
Okay.
Give it a second, it'll shut up.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
If you look in that back window, you could probably see it.
I can see it. But I was laughing because everyone's asking where I've been. I have had a rough month.
Oh no.
That's all. And I'm still having a rough go, into the next month, but it's getting better. And the heartbreak of tearing down my 120 and selling off my beloved fish.
Oh, right.
But, we became, everybody that I wanted to keep is now in the 20. And I have that down there if you want to show it off, but they really can't see anything. The blue lights are on. So, of course, it just washes out the camera really bad. But
hang on. Let me get it up. I'm slow. Here we go. All right. Go on.
So, nope. But I just cleaned up a dyno and cyano problem I was having with that because it is a fairly new tank. So I kind of knew that was coming. And yeah, Lucie's asking there, so if you guys want to see my tank or talk at my stream, I do stream most days. Like I said, I've had a rough go here. For those that don't know, my mother passed away there about 2 weeks ago.
I'm sorry.
A little more. So there's been dealing with that and the fallout from that. And then I have to move. So I was making all these decisions too on the fly. And, thankfully my wife, very supportive person, finally looked at me and says, no, let's sell the livestock and keep the tank. I'm like, okay. I said, what about the extra equipment? Right. And she goes, no, why don't we sell it off and keep the tank stand, sump, and the skimmer. And my of course, my reef keeper and all some other extraneous equipment. And I helped out a few people because they got a better deal than they would have got even with new. And most of my stuff was fairly new.
Mm-hmm.
And, did have the fortunate thing to sell off my beloved foxface, rabbitfish, and tang to a guy in Prince Edward Island. So we were
Now,
talking
see, I
live
wish I
stream.
would have been closer. I would have took your fox face.
My big old sand eating and pooping fox.
Yeah, I would have took that one in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he's doing really well. He took the trip very well. They both did, and they both ate
good.
right out of the bag. So I
Good,
couldn't be
good,
happier
good.
with that. I sold a lot of the smaller ones off to a very young reefer. She was 13. Had to kind of not read the riot act, but when she told me that she was running a 160-gallon tank with a Fluval 206. For those that don't know, that is a very small canister filter. And when I say small, that's putting it mildly. And she does have an Aqua Clear 110 on there.
Yeah, she doesn't know any better though.
So I told her, I said, what you need to do, you want to run a tank that big and use a canister filter, you need to get the FX6.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You need to get something bigger. I said, just because you're a lot of people, Eddie, a lot of people wanted me to keep that fox. And I really did. And I questioned putting him in a 20 for a week or two till I got a bigger tank. But it wouldn't be fair to him. He was a big fish. He was violent, by the way. He almost got me, by the way. He did poke me, but he didn't envenomate me.
Oh, good.
Ooh.
Good.
Oh, he was angry, and thankfully when he fell, when he jumped out and he almost got me. They do jump. I put a video up on Reefer Madness on Facebook, guys. They do jump.
Wow.
Actively.
See that.
And what was funny is that he missed me. He pricked me, but he didn't get me. It was kind of like right at the end, gloves on or not. But when he fell to where the rocks were in the bin I had him in.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really frightened that he was going to hit the rocks. And thankfully, he landed on his side and kind of slid away. You know what I mean? Water pressure did its job and kept him from actually hitting the rock.
Oh, good.
So that was good. And then I caught him, and he was a bugger about it. He was mad. Oh, mad. He wasn't yellow.
He didn't want to go either.
I bet he wasn't.
He was not yellow. He was definitely black and gray. He was just, and fins up, spines up. He was ready to go. He's like, let's get it on,
Hey, real quick. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, I just, there was a question and I wanted to answer very quickly. Melanie asked about some dates. She wanted to know when the Seahorse and Pipefish get together at Macna was going to be. And that will tentatively, they do, based on, they can change it, is the bottom line. But at this point, it will be September 7th at 9 a.m. is what I believe is correct. And Coral Vids, I'm sure, will correct me if I'm incorrect. But, you know what? Actually, am I wrong? Gosh darn it.
Probably.
Macna is the 7th.
September 7th at 9 a.m. for Macna.
See, I don't, you know what? I don't even know if my event's right. I'm going to have to check, to be completely honest. Don't take that to the bank, guys, because the, I think it is September. I don't know. You know what? I'm just not doing too well this week. My mother's sick. I don't want to talk about it. I'm just throwing it out there. My mother's not doing well, and so it's been a really rough week. So
it's been a rough summer for us reefers, hasn't it?
It really has. And I'm actually having trouble with the Seahorse tank, and it's just been a really bad week. But I'm gonna do a good job with these things. So I just gotta get through this time.
You're only human, Kelly. I mean, we all go through things, and I've been where you're at right now, and it is not any fun. And I'm just gonna let you know right now, you're in my prayers.
Oh, thank you very much. Put my mother there too. But anyhow, the schedule. I'll tell you what, Melanie. I apologize that I did not have an exact answer for you. I'm going to put the schedule of events for MACNA and for MBI in the comments when I'm done. That I will not do anything else until I go get those links and put them in the comments. Because I say I'm going to do these things and then I don't. I will do that. Because the only reason I don't want to tell you for sure is because when I made the events, I know I put like both the MACNA as the timing. So I just want to make sure that I'm correct before I tell everybody and then be incorrect. So I will put the schedule of events. Go ahead.
I don't know if my wife can hear me because I have my other phone, of course, displaying the tank for you folks. Would a 40-gallon sumped breeder be okay for a couple of H. erectus?
Yes.
Okay. No,
Oh, yeah. If I can have a 29, a 40 should be fine.
that's what I
Yes.
was thinking, right? And my only question was then if I have to go with
Sorry.
the 20-gallon long, right? So let's say space becomes a constraint. If it's just the two with no other fish, nothing like that, do you think a 20-gallon long would be okay?
I think
That's a
they told
30 by 12 by 12.
29 gallon.
I know they recommend the tall, but is there a reasoning behind that, Kelly?
I am so sorry. What? I'm sorry. I was looking for
Did you mute
dates.
me? You muted me. No.
What did you say? I apologize. You asked me something about height.
If a space
The
constraint
minimum,
becomes
yeah,
a
the
problem,
minimum take.
yeah, would a 20-gallon long be okay for a couple of H. erectus? If that's, and they're the only thing in. I'm not going to do fish in with them. It's basically just a seahorse tank.
I'm going to say that I could help you make that happen. I would not advise anyone who does not have someone helping them to do that. Can we?
Okay.
The
Now, the reason I
minimum
ask
advised
also
is.
be
Did you say? I'm sorry, Craig. Did you say sumped or no?
It would be sumped. If I
20
did it
gallon
in a 20
sumped?
long, it'd be sumped.
You're good. You're good.
Okay.
We can do it.
No, that's what I was wondering. And a 29 tall would be the minimum you'd recommend for HOB stuff. Hang on the back. Okay.
No.
I get it.
20.
I think me and Dan kind of had that conversation, but I wanted to kind of straighten it out. And I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want the wife to know. I want it to kind of be a surprise, like we're doing this.
I'm excited.
If I do it, and I'm going to wait for the new place, and I'm going to wait for MACNA to be over before I really get involved again. Because right now my 20-gallon long's doing okay. I just dealt with the dino. I just dealt with the cyano. Now it's making sure everybody's healthy, doing my water changes here in the coming couple of days. But it was funny. I have dealt with so many people in the last 5 days on reef tanks. And it got me back in. I wasn't out, but the streaming, I was kind of out. I was just, battling my issues that I was having. And then it kind of occurred to me, that people, I guess, cared that what the hell I got to say. So, or that I get the right people in to talk. And it's like, okay, maybe I should do this again. So found out I wasn't sharing it on Facebook. Never even thought to share my streams on Facebook for people to come and talk. And especially the locals, right? And trying to get it out there. The simple fact of the matter is I might run, I guess, like a talk radio style, we'll call it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'm not an idiot either. I do know how to do this, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't be doing any of this if you hadn't helped me.
Well, and the electronic part of it, the whole internet thing is a little, if you've done it as much as I've done it, and some stuff I learned on the fly. It's just experience with dealing with it, right? Yeah, and Jim's going to say it, and I'm going to now say it. Stop saying sorry so much.
Cheers. Cheers.
There you go. Have a drink of wine. Hey, Dan, how you doing? You're back.
Hey, really fast before.
Yeah, I made it.
I'm so sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. What I was going to say is the reason that I apologize so much is because these like MBI in itself is just deserves so much better than us sitting here chatting. It's such a great event. I just have so much respect for the people putting it on that I, wish I'd been a little more prepared. However, I'm not sorry because I'm up here advertising for them. I'm telling you to go. So
you're supposed to be winging it tonight, Kelly.
I am winging it.
Apologize.
Okay,
You're
no more sorry.
Quit apologizing.
I have never heard a greater passive-aggressive comment than "I'm sorry" while you're cutting somebody off. It's okay. Cut us off. That's what you do.
Okay.
And we'll get it. I swear. And if I got a problem with it, I'm the first person I'll speak up.
I know, and Dan will too. Dan will be like, "Shut up, Kelly."
You got it.
All right.
And
Dan
Jim will too.
Dan, what were you saying?
What?
Go ahead, Dan.
Dan, what are you talking about at MBI? What are you doing, and what are you talking about, and what are you doing?
I'm talking about seahorses.
Yeah. What about them?
I haven't decided on a title yet. Tal has asked for a title, and I haven't formally come up with it, but it's going to be regarding breeding.
Gotcha. So there you go, folks. Anybody? I'm going to turn you up a little bit real quick.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, Tina. By the way, Tina had a great YouTube video this morning of unpacking and acclimating her seahorses.
Oh,
Awesome.
I did not do a very good job. I'm not good at videos, but the girls are doing fine and they are eating, so that's all that matters.
We all got to see him a little bit ago, Dan. You missed it.
Yeah, sorry.
It
Yeah,
happens.
he's collecting food.
But Dan,
Yeah, grungy clothes on.
you look fine. In fact, I just noticed I need to move this up because nobody can see you guys. Uh-oh, I'm so sorry. Let me see if I'm able to.
There she goes again.
No,
Yeah,
I know it. I can't stop
we're gonna have to
myself.
give you we're gonna have to treat that like a swear word.
I'm
Kelly.
telling you, a nickel jar or something. I swear. All right, let me see if I can move this up so you guys can be seen. I'm sorry about that. Or no, gosh, I can't stop. I can't stop. All right, let's see.
Jim, we have started a thing.
Okay, I hope that's better for folks. I hope you can
Oh, it looks
see now.
fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Anyhow, I don't know how to make it switch between people. I'm still playing with Discord and stuff, but I have no idea how to make it like switch to other people, or set it to do what it
It's when
wants to
other
do.
people talk. When
Yeah.
other people talk, they should pop up.
Okay, then I'll just
I
quit touching
believe.
it.
Yep. Yeah. If you click out, so right now you have it on me, on my tank. So if you click on that on the right side, stop presenting,
Oh, okay. All right.
and then
Sorry.
it'll go to
No, not
everybody talking. Yeah.
stop presenting. I see.
Now, Aaron had a question. Does anyone do a fasting day with their seahorses?
Does anybody do a what? A fasting day? What is that?
So, like I do with my fish, there'll be a couple of days I won't feed my fish to stop the pollution in my tank. Does anybody do that with seahorses? Is it recommended? Is it not recommended? I guess.
There's one company that recommends it, and um, the idea behind it supposedly is that it prevents fatty liver disease, which is a problem that we don't hear much about anymore. If you want to prevent fatty liver disease, get good quality frozen food, not stuff that's already gone rancid. Um, I don't understand how fasting one day a week will prevent fatty liver disease. It's almost like telling a diabetic, don't eat one day a week. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I've had customers, Phoebe Reeves has had one of my seahorses for 11 years, and she never did fasting.
There you go.
And most of all my broodstock, my Rectus broodstock, are over 5 years old. So we feed, 7, 8 times a day, and we don't fast on any days, unless there's a hurricane.
And then there's specific reasons for that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's lights out for 24 to 48 hours of until the storm is over and we get generator up and running and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't have to put up with that here in good old Canada. Yeah.
Speaking of which, there are members of MBI in Canada.
I would think there was, right? It's just unfortunately, like I was saying to Kelly, I just never heard of it. Now, whether that's because I have no idea why, I just never did. It's
kind of a cool group. Most of the guys in there, I mean, there's a mix of people, but there's some very, very sharp individuals who are very good at breeding that are in there. And, they bring in good people, and, some of them are just downright impressive. You would think that they worked in the industry, given their.
You were breaking up, Dan. Can you repeat that?
I'm wondering, is Seahorse Canada with MBI? I wonder.
No, Seahorse Canada is a private company that formed a couple of years ago. In fact, I did consulting work helping them get started. No, they're a separate entity.
They're their own entity. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to have to get my seahorses from them because of CITES rules, I guess. But we'll talk, Dan. Yeah, we'll talk.
Well, what some people do in Canada, and I don't understand how they do it, but I have customers that I sell to in Canada that I ship to the FedEx station across the border, and they drive across, pick up the animals, and drive them back across. And somehow they show the receipt for the animals, and they're able to do it. I don't understand the rules because technically you should.
Right. it's live animal. As long as it's not on the CITES list, we're allowed.
Right, but I know people who've done this with seahorses, which are on CITES Appendix 2, but they're, I don't know, they've called ahead, got everything approved, and drove them right across. Seahorse Canada, on the other hand, though, is a good outfit. They primarily sell wholesale to the stores.
Right.
And you're going to have a limited selection. I think he's only doing Erectus right now.
I think that's it, but I'm okay with that because that's what I want to do. If and when I do it, it's going to be this. I love my 120 guys, I really do, but I still want to sell it. Right?
Yeah.
I like nano tanks. I'm a small tank guy. I love dealing with it. I don't know why. I think it's because it's that, it's too hard to do, and I do it all the time. You know what I mean? Like I show people all the time. No, this is how you do it. This is the best way to do it that I do. Right. And then you can kind of extrapolate on that and work within that, what I've done and what other people are telling you to be successful with it. And it's cheaper. I try and tell people a 120 gallon tank's great, but that upfront cost for that 120 gallon tank, I mean, I priced it up for a guy. Well, that stand to be $1,000. I got lowballed, folks. You ready for this? A 120 gallon reef ready tank, a custom built stand. Okay. And we're talking strong enough to put a truck on, 40 gallon sump, and a 3 Super Reef Octopus 2000 skimmer, and the guy offered me $300 for everything. And I just looked at him, and I looked at him and I said, "So, how much crack did you smoke before you made that offer?" Right? And I just dismissed the guy outright. I know who he is, and I just thought it was funny, right? Like really, of all the people, the guy with the worst reputation, you're the one who makes that offer. I said, you'd be lucky if I don't talk about this to everybody. Oh, wait, I already am. Screw you, hippie. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Don't. I mean, if he had made a really sensible offer, I probably might have jumped at it, but, don't do that. That's like looking at me and saying that my 20 gallon system's only worth $300. Well, good luck with that, buddy. Because I can tell you here, I can just show you the equipment list if you wanted it all. You know what I mean? It's like you can go buy a 20 gallon tank for $50. Off you go. That kind of thing. So
Can
anyway,
go ahead, Dan.
I was just say I've got a 120 and a 150, and both of them I got for free.
Yeah, and that's just it. You can, and I try to explain. Look for those. Don't call up a guy who's got one that may or may not be for sale, and then lowball the living hell out of them.
Well, the other thing is these weren't pretty tanks. They were on the one of them was on the side of the road. I stopped and I had to re-glue the top edge on it.
Right.
And the other one, I had to really acid bath it to get it cleaned up to where it was presentable. They weren't, no stand, no equipment, nothing else. It's just a plain tank. And, that's how I pick up most of my 55s is you find somebody who's trying to just get rid of it and you snatch it.
Now, 55 is a popular one to get rid of, too, because for a lot of people, they don't really suit the purpose. They're too thin. They're too tall. As a reefer, I've shown people 1,000 times, like you're restricting what you can actually do here, and you're making it tougher to get the light down into the tank. But for a seahorse tank, I bet you they're just kick butt.
I was just gonna say that'd be a perfect seahorse tank.
Well, I use them for for 2 pairs of brood stock. As far as a home display tank, I would much rather have the 75, which is same length, but the extra width.
Hey guys, real quick, I wanted to say a few questions that I'm seeing. First of all, a lot of people are saying, is there an MBI in Australia? Is there an MBI here, there, everywhere? I did not do a very good job of explaining how it actually works to start, so let me try again. The MBI, the Marine Breeding Initiative, is actually an online. Tal's going to kill me if I explain this wrong. Dan, please correct me. But it's a database. It's where people can go, join, become a member of the Marine Breeding Initiative, and then there are journals of experiences. Like if you're setting up a breeding tank or of whatever species you're breeding, you can write how you're doing it, what you're doing, describe it in detail, and then show pictures as you go along to show the progression of the breeding. And then if it's a failure, if everything doesn't work out, it's still there. And then the next time, someone tries that species again, there's also a reward system within the database where, once you successfully breed a species, you get a little, like a seahorse by your name if you did seahorses or cardinal fish or whatever. And there's levels, and it's a reward system kind of for it promotes captive breeding and breeding by hobbyists and promoting captive breeding. And so it's really not the workshop that I'm promoting. The MBI 2018 workshop is the workshop in which the MBI members get together. They have speakers. They, have the barbecue. We are going to hold the Seahorse and Pipefish meeting, and so on and so forth. However, the MBI itself, anybody, I believe, can join anywhere in the world. Dan, am I wrong or right?
Yes, no, you're correct. The
Okay.
MBI, they have a website. It's mbisite.org.
Thank you.
And you can go in there and gander around the website and take a look. But essentially, it's a bunch of breeders trying to breed different things, and they have a specific format to follow in terms of filling out information on what you're breeding. But there's also forums in there where they talk and answer questions and converse about different things. It's if you're into breeding, it's a worthwhile website.
Yes.
And the MBI workshop really is an annual meeting. It's done once a year from that group where they try to get
Oh, you're cutting up there, Dan.
to know people. But once you get a chance to meet somebody in person, it takes it to a new level.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but just to be clear, for Sam in Australia, and actually, I would love, Sam, for you to go, if you're still watching, excuse me, to go check out the site, join it, and let me know, because I'm pretty darn sure that anyone anywhere can join, and that the point is, I should have made that clear from the start. I won't apologize, but sorry, Tal. The point is the site. The workshop is the get together. And we're adding on to it because it's going to be, we have 2 speakers that are seahorsey people this year is the deal. So I apologize, I did not explain that properly. But yeah, Dan is absolutely right about, there are people at these different events that won't, be your friend on Facebook or whatever until they meet you, because it does take it to a new level. Then the person, what's going, what they're truly trying to do, and I don't know. I just can't. Again, I can't give these guys enough credit because these guys really want to help and really want to promote captive breeding. And I was reading earlier on the site about how much impact this is going to have in the future, as we continue to see problems in the ocean, and captive breeding and breeding large and small scale are going to be really important. So they promote it, they help people with it, and it's just a great site. And I'm sorry, Aaron asked something about seahorses changing color. Hey Tina, have your seahorses changed color yet at all?
Yes, they did. They do it several times. That's really, really cool.
Isn't it? Isn't it? It is awesome.
Yep.
But it does make it difficult
Yeah.
for somebody to buy a seahorse based on color, because they'll change. So
Yeah. They've turned, like, the darker one turned from, super black dark to like a super really light silver, and then the yellow one got really black and then turned silver and then goes back to almost white and then back to yellow again. So it was really cool to see that.
Mm-hmm. They change based on. So, Aaron, to answer your question, you wanted to know about the color changing in more detail. They'll change color based on mood. They'll change color based on their surroundings. So that's why you'll see a lot of people put a blue background on the tank. Maybe Dan can tell us a little bit better. I'm not sure why, but that just promotes coloration, lighter colors, whatever. I know that my two super yellow, it also depends on personality because I have two Reed-Eye from Seahorse Savvy Seahorse, I always get it backwards, sorry, in there that came in bright yellow. And because of the white rocks in my tank, they turned white. Almost instantly, they were white. And one of them has turned back to a bright yellow, and one of them remained white. I have no idea why. It's the same tank. It's one, though I will say the yellow one hangs out on the yellow chain more than the other one, but you just never know. It's their personalities, their surroundings, their moods, whether they're recording, they'll just change. They're like little they wear their feelings on their sleeves. How's that? And they'll change based on what's going on.
Can I, a point if I can add it?
Yes, please.
If you think about seahorses in the wild, in the areas that they live in, they have no self-defense. They can't outswim other fish.
Right.
So their only protection against predation is to
Hide.
so as adapted to where they surroundings and change color. So that's why you should never buy a seahorse based on color. Now, a lot of people will buy a seahorse that is a certain color thinking, well, I know he can be that color. All seahorses can be any of the colors. It's just a matter of their diet and what they want to be based upon their surroundings. And generally speaking, the most colorful seahorses are going to be the ones in the most gaudy tanks, the ones with the most color in them. And color doesn't always do what you think it's going to do.
Right.
Red, for example, people want to get a red seahorse. So they put a lot of red in their tank and the seahorse turns black and they don't get it.
I did it.
I don't know why the blue pulls the yellows out, but for some reason it does. Yellow is the easiest color form to turn. With certain species like the erectus, most of the erectus are not in crystal clear water like the Reed-Eye are. And they have a tendency to be somewhat more of a, I don't want to say a muted color, but they more of a neutral type color to blend in with their surroundings. But they can be quite striking. I have seen solid canary yellow erectus, so yellow there was no lines, no saddle markings, nothing.
Wow.
And they can turn orange, they can turn red, they can turn green. I've actually seen a blue one. I had a customer come up and specifically wanted a black seahorse. He bought it. 2 days later, he sent me a picture where it turned blue, purple. There's all kinds of different colors that they can turn to.
And just to repeat what Dan said, because he was breaking up a little bit in the midst, is that he was making a very valid, good point that the real reason, I went over the reasons in the hobby, but the real reason that seahorses change color is because in the wild, the only defense they have against predators is to blend in. So they camouflage into their surroundings so that you can't see them. It also makes it very hard for research people to find them and study them. So that kind of stinks. And I had a question, Dan. Are there color ranges? Do we know, are there color ranges for certain species? Because I had always assumed that Reed-Eye were going to be yellow, white. I understand you just said dull, but then I saw Lucie's post earlier of the dark jet black Reed-Eye.
It's the environment. I mean,
Really?
they came out of the lagoon, and the lagoon is not crystal clear.
Got it.
And there's
Okay.
a lot of algae, and the water's kind of, certain times at high tide, it'll clear up some, but for the most part, it's kind of a, visibility is very, very, very low. And it's kind of muddy in that area, I think, where she's collecting.
Hey, Dan. Before,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to butt in. Somebody asked me in the question before I forget. How old are my baby seahorses? Do you know?
About 4.5 months, approximately.
Okay. Okay, Melanie, you got your answer. 4 months old. Aw.
Generally speaking, they grow for us about an inch a month up to about 4 to 5 inches.
Okay. So they're about
And
4 inches long, I'd say. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
4.5, almost 5.
they'll slow down growth progressively over the next 6 months, and then they continue to grow throughout their lifespan, just at a much slower pace. Excuse me.
Okay. Nice. So now I have to like figure out a birthday.
The birthday can
So
be the day
basically, they
you
were born in
got
April.
them.
What was that?
I said just make their birthday the day you got them.
Yeah. Well, then you got to add 4 months.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
My twin's birthday is April 1st, so there we go.
That's the birthday then. We just decided.
Yep. There's their triplet.
We actually did have some born on April 1st. I don't know which batch these came out of
Huh.
because we mix them up based upon size. Sometimes it's called grading, where we put like
Yeah.
sizes together.
Al, I wanted to answer your question. Dan does not have a YouTube channel. He does, however, have a Facebook group that is excellent. I very highly recommend it. It's called Seahorse Sources Group on Facebook. He actually does some live streaming himself there, and I'm sure he will eventually get a YouTube channel. But for now, he is extremely helpful on this one. But if you want to go directly to Dan, I don't know why you'd want to bypass my cool self. It's not like I ramble and all that, but no, I'm just kidding. But he is on Facebook, Seahorse Sources Group, and you can. Okay, so that's Seahorse
Also,
Sources Group.
Instagram as well.
He's
and
on Instagram
I will have
now.
I will have a YouTube channel at some point. I'm not there yet. I'm still trying to figure out who Instagram is.
Instagram, I don't either. It's like Twitter. What's
Oh,
Twitter?
I can't do Twitter. Twitter's too much for me. I tried. I can't do Twitter. And with Dan, Dan being a business, he can't get up there and say, not sorry, but my audio's messed up yet again, and da 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 like I can. So he has to make sure it's professional and
Oh, professional enough. Hey, come on. I've even seen pro ones lose it. So,
yeah.
Y'all, I'm
So-
fixing to lose it here. I'm sitting in front of this tank, and these guys are snuggled up, all wrapped around the sponges. Oh my god!
Show us, Tina. And I want to answer.
I don't know if you can see. Hang on.
Here, let me try to present to everyone. And while
They
you're
are snuggling.
Aww.
Wait for it to clear. Wait.
There you go.
Hold still.
Look at that.
I see them. They're
Oh,
snuggled.
yeah.
There's one there. And there's the other one.
Yeah.
They snuggle in and hitch at night.
Just
Yeah.
wrapped up like laying on their side, laying on it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm melting now.
I guarantee, let me make a prediction right now. Tina will have 20 seahorse tanks within, a year.
Oh,
But-
my husband would kill me.
I know. I wanted to answer really quick.
But I
Sorry.
may get another pair when I get these into the bigger aquarium. So
Yeah. Seahorsesource.com would
Yes.
be for seeing Dan's product, his website, what he does. And I would imagine there's contact on there for him as well.
yes, there is.
Now, what's the standard seahorse lifespan, guys?
I was just going to answer that. Thank you, Craig. Dan, did you want to foot that one, or because there's a difference between the average and the life in captivity? Go ahead, Dan.
Well, we don't know what the average lifespan of a seahorse is in the wild. In captivity, we know that we have many people who keep them for 5 to 7 years, and we have others that, with the proper setup, they go beyond that.
Right.
I've had reedi that were over 10 years in captivity. They were brought into captivity as adults. And most of my brood stock that I use for the Erectus are over 5 years old, to give you an idea.
Wow.
I choose those. I choose those because they're so much bigger and they can produce bigger batches of fry.
My seahorses from Seahorse Source are between 4 and 5 years at this point, I believe. 4 years, maybe. I don't know. They're old. They're pretty old, and they're still kicking out babies and happy as little clams. So
I got a question for Aaron. You posted a couple of, it looks like numbers at Evil Bay. What are you trying to link? Because I can help you out with that. And they want me to post a link for my donation thing. Is that okay with you, Miss
What now?
Seahorse Whisperer? They want me to post a link for my donation page for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, go ahead.
I want to make sure it's okay with you. This is your sandbox, not mine.
Yeah, you could feel free to post a link to mine also, but you know,
Is it
yeah,
there?
absolutely.
Put 'em up. Oh, yeah, I see it. There, hold on.
Put them both up.
That's mine, folks. And that's going to turn into, on my streams, you'll see, Macno or bust kind of deal. And I do want to thank those that help with the move as well. And this would be for the Seahorse Whisperer.
And hey, yeah, maybe I could get my audio sorted out if I had some help. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm totally
You
kidding.
don't even want to see my setup. It's actually crazy. I got half myself packed down now. And I'm still looking around going, okay, the audio's got to get packed away and the microphone's got to get packed away. And I'm like, because I look after my gear. I actually got people that I'm now, for those that know that I play guitar professionally, I've done 2 recordings for people in the last few weeks. So I actually have been back playing, just for those that know me. So, yay. Greg plays
That's
guitar.
awesome.
Woo.
Am I still presenting to everybody here? Let me try to get this
I actually know
started.
the answer to that, Al. The best beginner seahorse, apparently, from what I've gleaned, and if I'm wrong, they'll correct me, I'm sure, but Hippocampus erectus.
Good job, buddy.
Yep. The hippocampus erectus is.
And I'm now, of course, I'm going to have to put a link to my article about the erectus being the best beginner seahorse in the description. But I do want to keep this, focused on MBI. But I'm trying to set. Go ahead.
They're also, the erectus, not only great for beginners, but most of the experts have them as well.
I don't know if anyone else is from Australia, Aaron. And Aaron, the link you were trying to do, no, there were links on eBay for building a trough for seahorses. Okay.
I believe Jim is in Australia. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think he is, yeah.
Sam is also in Australia.
I was going to say there's a female from Australia too that's been on the show, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sam is also. Chris with Seahorse World is Australia, obviously. Rip Van Winkle is close to Australia. Hey, and
close enough. Yeah, he's in the Philippines. Yep.
What's going to be cool is that's we're still playing with this, but this is kind of coming together, and I'm really enjoying this, and I'm really thinking that it's helping people because if we get this, once I get a few more ideas on what people want from this Seahorse and Pipefish meeting, if we're able to stream it and people from Australia, people from all over, if we can time it well or maybe replay it,
Yeah.
we could start really doing
Tal's
this.
actually here in chat. He says, sorry, he fell asleep after dinner. He got food coming.
Oh, Tal, it's okay. Hey, Tal, I did a poor job and I won't apologize because they're beating me up for apologizing, but I did a poor job of describing the reasoning for and the background of the Marine Breeding Initiative at first. I've backed up and tried to redo it, focusing on the fact that there is a database, a website, an actual I don't know a better word for it, living sharing type forum thing that anybody around the world can join, right? Is it correct that anyone around the world can join the Marine Breeding Initiative? Is my question to you, Tal. And then we have the workshop, which is annual. And you guys, obviously I can't just sit here not talking and waiting for him to answer, but I'm pretty sure that that's correct, that anybody can join from anywhere. We'll find out in a minute. And no problems with you falling asleep. I just, if there's anything else that you want me to cover and share with people, how do you speak? Can someone send Tal, I have your email. Oh, gosh. Craig, can you talk about something real quick so I can send Tal an email? Or Dan, whoever.
I can talk about lots of things.
Y'all talk. Tal, I'm going to send you a link.
I got a question, Dan, on the camouflage thing with seahorses.
Sure.
When they're stressed, okay, let's say they're unhappy, is there a particular color they turn?
Well, generally speaking, they turn dark. In the aquarium environment anyway, they turn a dark color.
Okay.
That's gonna show up. Isn't
So
it?
they're kind of like my fox face in that they go full on. Whoop, stay. It's almost I'm hiding. You can't see me for them, or
I don't know. It has to do with the chromatophores, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. With the stress, they just close them up and um, just darken up.
don't need to do that, Kelly.
What?
If you're going to email somebody, you just hit the M.
I know. I
There's
didn't want
email
his
address.
email. I didn't want his email to show up on the
It doesn't
screen.
show.
Okay.
Doesn't show. Nope,
Thank
just so
you.
you know.
Thank you for stopping me from wasting a whole bunch of time. Then, thank you very
Nope.
much.
No, it doesn't show.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, chromatophores, by the way, and I only know that
Thank you.
from dealing with what do you call it? The little guy. Oh wow,
Cuttlefish.
cuttlefish. Thank you. Just
Yeah.
with my buddy. He is gonna. I can't wait to get him back on. He said he should have a new brood stock in the next 2 months. He's waiting so he can do direct from Indo. And he is on the forefront of that. And folks, that battle between the health department and the government itself is still ongoing because they're saying they have a directive saying that everything was supposed to stop in January, and the rest of them are saying that's not the case. And I guess me and Rip have talked about this as well because he's kind of in that area of the world, and I guess that's a constant thing that it's unlike here where you get a directive from the government, hey, just do it and it gets fixed. There it can be an ongoing thing. So yeah, for now folks, Indo is off limits for us until they get their health certificates straightened out, because they can do all their CITES stuff, all the shipping stuff's in place, but they can't ship it to North America or anywhere else for that matter unless they have the health certificates. They'll get turned back, and in other words, the livestock will be at risk. Yeah, so sorry, jumped off there. And you must be on Chrome. Yep, as Kelly said, if you're going to join, make sure you're on Chrome or it won't work. It
And
will work,
I
but it
hope
works
I
really
hope he
weird.
can, I hope he can't. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Dang it. I hope he can. I hope he can come in.
America or anyone else for that matter.
Tal's here. Hi, Tal.
Hey guys.
In other words, how you doing, Tal? Nice to meet you. Yeah. So sorry, jumped off there.
No worries. And now we have someone, Tal Sweet, who is in charge of the MBI and running it and the workshop, and we can ask some questions. So, Tal, what's on the lineup this year? I hope he can come in. Tal's here. Hi, Tal. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh shoot, Tal. Can really quick mute your other tabs.
Hold on.
Someone, you're good. Tal Sweet, who is.
He's doing the radio thing, man. Did I win? Yeah.
It's all good. So, Tal, what's on the lineup this year?
Hold on. I'm just kidding.
You're okay, honey. I should have. I should have. This is my fault. I should have gotten with Tal earlier and made sure that I explained how to do this. My apologies. Is that acceptable? Instead of my sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna, before Tal really gets ripping here.
Yeah.
There is a question I missed, and it was from Rip Benwinkle.
Okay.
Rip at one that we were talking in my stream. We watched Tina's video and why she didn't acclimate, as we're so used to. And I figured it was the same thing as when I do shipping and I get stuff in that I know has been in a container for 8-9 hours or whatever, that it's safer for them.
Correct.
Because of the pH thing. If it's local, would you acclimate, or is there still a risk to the seahorse to acclimate versus, you know what I mean? Like if I bring home a fish from the local fish store, I acclimate.
Or just temperature?
No, we're talking about drip acclimating here,
Yep.
right? Temperature
Okay.
acclimating is one thing, but
Yep.
like if I were to buy seahorses, say my guy shipped them in, he's got them in his tank, and I pick them up. Now they're only going to my house 45 minutes away. Would I drip acclimate, or would it still be and reach in and pull them out after they're temp acclimated, or would you drip acclimate if it were short-term, like short-term shipping?
The answer is you follow the recommendation of the person that you bought the seahorse from. Here's why. I actually, one of my very first streams, I covered this, no big deal, but basically, if you buy from breeders like Dan, like Seahorse Source and Savvy Seahorse, Seahorse Savvy, however you say it, if you buy from breeders, they're going to typically tell you not to acclimate via drip. You always temperature acclimate. I'll let Dan tell you why you do that in a moment. But the reason that you want to follow the instructions of the person that you're buying from is because if you buy from, say, Live Aquaria or Saltwater Fish.com or wherever, they have guarantees, and if you don't follow their acclimation instructions, you forfeit your guarantee. So, and you know, they know how their seahorses are being shipped. There are different shipping methods. So, based on how these people are actually shipping the fish to you, they know if there's, you know, protection from pH and ammonia stuff in the bag already. They know what they've put into the water. They know, you know, they know what to tell you versus me. But Dan, why do you suggest people not drip acclimate your seahorses? Did he
Well,
leave?
the simple science behind it is during, you know, when you take a fish home from the store is one thing, but when you ship a seahorse or fish in general, they spend a
Right.
certain amount of time in the bag and they're giving off CO2. The CO2 in turn drives the pH down. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because the lower pH makes the ammonia toxicity less toxic.
Right.
And when you open that bag, there's a massive chemical reaction because the CO2 rapidly escapes, the pH rapidly goes up. And according to some of the top aquatic veterinarians, they will tell you that it's more stressful for the animal to sit in that than it is to go ahead and put them in good, clean water.
Right. No, I guess what
And
me and Rip were asking, we understand about that part of it, right? And you know, for those that don't, I'll let you keep going. But our question was more if we were doing local, right? I go to my local fish store, pick up my seahorses, and bring them home. Would you recommend drip acclimating at that point? Because there's no
it
arrival
would be
log
up
or
to
anything
you.
with the LFS. Okay. No, I was just curious.
It,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it
wouldn't.
wouldn't hurt to do it, but I don't. I always temperature acclimate only, and I was doing this long before the vets came out and recommended it. I used to get shipments from overseas they used to ship reed eye in one seahorse per half cup of water, and the shipments would take 48 to 72 hours to get to me. And before I would put them in my tanks, I would freshwater dip them. So there was no way I could drip acclimate them. So we temperature acclimated, we freshwater dipped, and we put them in the tank. And I never lost seahorses doing that.
Okay. No, that works for me. And Rip wants to jump in. Are you okay with Rip popping in,
Of
Kelly?
course, go ahead.
Yeah, I figured as much.
If whenever
Go
Tal
ahead.
is able and ready to speak, we're all going to be
Yep.
quiet and let Tal speak because this is about MBI. But everyone's welcome. This is an informal hangout.
Can you guys hear me?
Tal, yes,
Oh, you can hear me.
yes,
Oh, okay.
okay.
My
So-
camera's not working for some reason.
Are you on a phone, maybe?
No, I'm on my desktop. It says it just doesn't like my camera.
Oh, that's
Camera
not
not working. But anyway,
Yeah.
back to what you were saying before.
good. Yes,
The
Tal.
MBI, the MBI is basically an online database for everyone around the world or the moon or whatever can, contact the internet to share captive breeding information freely. We're set up similar to an old Breeders' Award program started by, I think it was the Florida Freshwater Club back in the 80s or something.
Oh, wow.
But where we go on, and the way we have it set up now is you can create journals for any species of fish or invertebrate you're working with. And there's 4 milestones of breeding. That's spawning, hatching, settlement, and 60 days post-settlement. And after you complete all 4 of those stages for one specific species you're working with, say your erectus seahorses, once you complete all 4 of those, then you get points. And then the points add up, and you can go up to different breeder levels. That's just like a kind of an incentive to get people doing it. I really don't care much about the points, but some people are kind of inspired by that, so that gets them to keep doing more things. But the main thing is to share captive breeding information with everyone freely. Because when I first started getting into breeding back in 2007-8, there was information out there, but it was really hard to find. There was another website called MoFib, which was kind of going down at that time, and it was very hard to source information. So I thought, there's got to be a better way to have individual species breeding protocols out there, where you could see what other people had done and ask questions and see pictures and things like that. So that's how we set up the MBI. And right now, for the last 8-9 months, we've been trying to bring this whole database up to date, because it was built on what was state of the art back then, but is not now. And the whole platform we were using, it was very, very difficult to get someone that could even attempt to bring it up to something new. And it's taken him since probably last August or longer, and we still haven't gotten it finished yet. So that's kind of a bummer.
Is
But
it
anyway.
Matt? Is it Matt?
No.
Oh, okay. No, I'm that's none of my business. I was just gonna say, I'm sure I'm sure it will get done, and it's still a very, very excellent place. I love and learn and love it. So I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit. I appreciate that you're updating it, but it's still it's very good as is, in my opinion. And I like the little seahorse by my name. I need to get my journal up there because I want the seahorse. But thank you for explaining a little more clearly how the point system works. So how does the workshop fit in? How?
Okay. 9 years ago, I decided that I wanted to get together breeders and have like a mini type MACNA, and a small weekend event where it was just talking about captive breeding. So that year, I got Matt Wittenrich and Matt Peterson together and brought them in to speak. And that was actually the first time those two had actually spoken together at the same event about captive breeding. And it was just two speakers. It was a short afternoon session, and it went over really well. So then each year since then, I've gotten at least 4 speakers. One year I had, I think 3 years ago, we had like 7 speakers crammed into a day. And don't ask me how I did that, because I don't know how I did it. But we did. And the basic premise is I wanted a setting where I would get different speakers in, usually people that have like the most up-to-date, newest stuff that's come out in the past year. Sometimes not, sometimes real basic stuff. It just varies year to year. But I wanted the audience, the attendees, to have very close interaction with the speakers. So not only did they hear them talk, they could ask them questions, they could hang out with them at lunch, go to dinner on Saturday night, and then I have a barbecue on Sunday at my place, which is by a lake, and we just sit around and drink whatever and eat food and just talk fish stuff as long as it goes. So I think I've succeeded in my goal of getting an event that is very informative but casual and welcoming to anyone on any level of captive breeding to come and join.
The part that you missed before you came in is that is exactly what I said.
Okay.
No. I mean, thank you for saying it also. I just meant as a person who attended for the first time last year and did not know what to expect and am not at the level that other people might be that attend that event. I was extremely welcomed. I'll never forget standing there. You came up and you saw me kind of standing off to a side at the barbecue, and I can't even remember what was going on, but you came over and you talked to me and you made me feel very welcome, and you said those exact words, that you wanted to be sure that we were able to interact in a more casual setting versus the really big huge shows where you can't get you even told me a story about when you first started, you want a lunch to sit with someone, and that you wanted that to be a thing people could do more easily and communicate more more efficiently and learn from each other. And I was just really impressed, and that's why I want to help, and that's why I'm trying to do the meeting there also. And I feel like you were trying to talk and I interrupted you. Did I?
Well, I'm thinking, but I do have more to say. So yeah, that's great to hear from you. That's my goal, is to get people, anybody can show up and hang out and feel comfortable just going up to somebody and saying, you said this during your talk, can you explain it more thoroughly, or I disagree with it, or whatever. And I think you can do that at this event, and it's not like you're just sitting in in a room, listen to somebody talking, and they're gone. You know, this way you're stuck with these people for the weekend, and it's not 1,000 people; it's under 100 people. So, plus we have the raffle on Saturday. We get donations from companies all over the country sending. I just got found out earlier somebody sent us a nano tank, and I'll be posting that stuff up on on the website, the raffle items. And let's see what else is included. Friday night we start with the reception at the hotel. It's just an informal get together where I usually get all the speakers in there theoretically in Friday afternoon. Sometimes there's little problems with airplanes and timing and stuff like that, but usually that works pretty good. So we all hang out in the bar, get to meet everybody, and then I have to go home and get things ready for Saturday morning. Then we have the workshop on Saturday. We have lunch at the lunchroom at Cranbrook Institute of Science, which is actually, if anyone has time while they're there, Cranbrook Science Museum is a world-class museum. I mean, it's not huge, but they have some really, really awesome exhibits. They have one on Rome going right now, but I think it'll be over before the workshop, unfortunately. But so then we finish up the workshop on Saturday afternoon around 5. We have to pack up and be out of there at 5, and there is a little break. And then some of us go to the Moose Preserve for dinner. Other people go elsewhere for dinner. And then this year, you and Dan are going to be going back to the hotel and doing a little Seahorse chat and drink thing, and which unfortunately, one thing that kind of sucks being the host is I don't get to do all the fun stuff. I miss half the speakers. I'm always running out checking on things, and then the evening stuff I usually don't get to attend because I'm coming home and prepping food for the next day. But your event on Saturday night will be an added bonus this year, and then Sunday morning, you guys are going to do another event. Well, you're going to do an event here at noon, and so the barbecue starts at 1. There's possibility, if there's enough interest, Tammy, shoot, I'm having a little brain fart. Oh, Tammy Marshall is thinking about doing something else before that on Sunday morning at the hotel, but we haven't quite fleshed that out yet. So I'll stay tuned on that information. But then everybody comes over here and hangs out on Sunday afternoon, and every year the weather has been good. One year it rained in the morning, but every other afternoon has been awesome. So I think 9 years going, I think we should be pretty good.
It's truly an amazing event, and I just want to back you up on some of the things you said. I checked out the museum or the institute, on breaks and such, and it really is amazing. I went upstairs and saw some things that like I wanted to take my kids back because it was really really cool, and I think you're doing a fantastic job. I am so excited for this event, and if I interrupted again, I apologize. Did you have more?
I just want to say that we have sponsors that help us pull this event off every year, and they're all listed on the workshop site. And I encourage all of you to go check out the sponsors and support them because they're companies that probably everyone on here knows. Reed Mariculture is one of our biggest ones, and you probably get your food from them or have. And Madison's a big sponsor of us. Larry's Foods, he's also a sponsor. And without their support, we couldn't have this event because it costs money.
Yeah.
You know, I bring my speakers in for the weekend. I have to fly them in or drive them in and put them up at hotels and feed them. So that's a big chunk of change. So I can't really do it without the support of our sponsors. And as long as we support them, they'll support us.
And I will make sure that we put some links in the description on every media to donate to the MBI, to attend, to get tickets. Everything we're talking about, there will be links in the description right when we're done. I will make sure that that happens. And I was already coming, and I was already excited to come. And then you got the Seahorse people. I swear, I really feel like you did this for me, Tal. I have this feeling.
Of course I did.
I knew it. We had this wine connection, and you thought Kelly needs some Seahorse people talking. Woo! But
well, I'm open to anybody that wants to do more stuff here. Any way I can fit it in. The thing is with Tammy, she talked to me about her idea. Oh, I looked at the chat and it was like Thanksgiving Day or something, and it's like, get back to me. Well, she got back to me yesterday.
Oh no.
I'm like, my schedule's full. I said, if I can swing it, I'll try. But yeah, we're always open to suggestions.
Well, and if she, are you talking Tammy? The Tammy I know?
I'm probably, yeah.
Okay, I'm interested in anything she's doing for sure, and I will message her also and tell her that I'm interested in her help with this too. This is joint, yeah, absolutely. But let's do some stuff. It's gonna be
Cool.
great.
For anybody that's interested, the workshop site is mbiworkshop.com, and you can go there and see the link for booking your hotel rooms at our group rate, which you have to do before the 28th of June. And list of the speakers. There'll be one more coming. I'm still waiting for his picture. And the schedule is mostly up there. It's still a little flexible. I'm not actually who's speaking at what time yet, but the sponsors, the past speakers, and just some fun pictures from the past to check out too. So that's where you find out about the workshop itself. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much for coming and explaining. And does anyone have any questions for Tal that are in here? I'm sure there will be some in the comments later, but anybody? Nope. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming in and joining us. If you need to go, that you can just check the comments later. I'll make sure all the links get into the description. And the way this works is we'll
Sorry,
go ahead.
before you go, I never got a chance to chime in. So can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yes, Rip, and I apologize. I wasn't going to stop the stream yet. I was just going to let Tal know on his end that if he has to go, feel free. The way this works is we'll chat for a little bit longer, then I'll stop the stream, then we chat after the stream. So I know you're very busy, so thank you so much for coming. I've recorded this. I will do something with the audio later. Rip, go ahead with your question. Sorry.
No apologizing.
I know it.
Gotcha.
I'll get better.
So look, I wanted to ask you, Tal. By the way, nice to meet you, Tal.
You
I
too.
wanted to ask you. So if someone gets into breeding, let's say, so they just register on your site. That's it.
Correct. Yep, just sign up, create a username just like any other forum site, and go from there. I mean, you can even search the database without even being a member if you don't want to. But yeah, just create a username, and
I'm in the Philippines, so there's no way it's unlikely that I'd ever go and meet you guys, but I just want to know, like, do you guys have anything going on here?
In the Philippines?
Yeah.
Not that we don't get a lot of input from Asia. They're kind of quiet over there.
Yeah, because probably the language difference and the culture difference, but I'm Canadian, so I'm down here.
Okay, I kind of detected the slight accent of sorts. They're cool. I wish I was a Canadian right now.
You were lying.
So
and you don't wish you were a Canadian right now.
So just join the site and basically like go from there.
Yep. Yeah. If you have any questions, I'm Fishtail on there too. So just hit me up if you have any issues you have problems with. Like I said, the site's going through some reconstruction issues. So if something doesn't work, give it a little bit. The webmaster might be doing something. But if you're running any major problem, just send me a PM. But only push the send button once.
I bet you get blown up.
Yeah, although somebody today was bugging me about posting pictures on the site, because we used to just Photobucket, and if you know anything about Photobucket, they screwed us last year. And but he hit the button like 6 times, so I get like 6 PMs within 30 seconds. I'm like, okay, just push it once. It takes a minute, but it'll come through.
Gotcha.
But
So Al was asking, does MBI help source fish?
there are threads on there or forums on there for looking for livestock or selling your livestock. I don't actively do that, but the ability for people to go there and ask or go there and say they have something is there, yes.
And I was going to say too that I actually, when I had an experience with pipefish and needed some guidance, I had someone, a really big YouTuber. Of course, I can't remember his name at this moment. I think it's Tanner. I'll link it in the description. But he had actually advised me to go to the MPI website, so it was really cool to be able to say, "Oh, I'm already a member, but I'll go look at your species," because it's a good website. It's hard, you know. It can be a lot to look at first, but once you start looking around, there's a lot of good information.
It was probably Jim Welsh, wasn't it?
No, it was a YouTuber. That's what was so odd to me. It was like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's somebody who does pipefish. I feel really bad that I can't think of the name. I'll think of it and put it in the description. I always edit these later and repost them as videos. So, but it was just cool to see somebody from YouTube advising to go there. Sorry, Dan, go ahead.
I have to say that the group at MBI is a very, very good group, and when you attend the event, it really is nice to sit down and talk with the people. The people are so good at answering questions, and they're friendly. It's a very pleasurable getting information.
Cool. Well, thank you, Dan.
And we didn't do much discussion on the actual Seahorse and Pipefish meeting, but I'm thinking, we're going to talk about this more times. So I was kind of in a gather information phase, trying to get people's ideas and opinions on what they'd like to see. So maybe the next time we talk about this, I will present more of what we're actually going to do. But at least we got Tal in here to answer some questions. That's awesome. And so everybody, I will post the links, make sure you can hurry up and get your tickets to MBI because it's going to be fun. I can't wait. And I can't wait to see the last speaker. I hate that you string it out for us, Tal.
It's not my fault. He's being really slow. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
it took me a while to get Colby's picture. He still hasn't sent me his bio. And the last guy, he's like, "Oh, I have to run it by his professor and all this." And I'm like, "Dude, I need your picture. I need to know what kind of fish you like and the title of your talk. It doesn't have to be a whole PhD document here. It's just simple." He's like, "Oh, okay." But he still hasn't gotten it to me, so I don't really want to share that until I have it confirmed. So.
Absolutely understood. Al asked, what are some unique, difficult fish that some of the MBI members were able to breed?
Well, let's see. Obviously, Matt's orange spotted filefish. He did that quite a few years ago, and he's the only one that's done that. So since then, I don't know if blue striped pipes would be on that list. I would say kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who did the blue striped pipes? Do you remember? You probably don't know. I'm sorry.
Jim Welsh.
It was Jim? Maybe? Yeah. Okay. Go on.
And, the only pipefish I did were ones I collected down at the Sebastian Inlet down there. And when I was out collecting with Matt Wittenrich and brought some home, and that was 2010 or something. It's been a while.
Where are you, Tal?
In Michigan.
You're close to me then.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I'm in Michigan.
Right on.
Right across the river from Windsor. So.
Awesome. And let's see, I'm just trying to check really fast if there's any other questions floating around that I missed. Streaming to all these places, sometimes I miss some, I apologize. We can always come back to them. And
I have a question. I have a question about acclimation, but it doesn't necessarily have to be right now. Just want to tell you that before you. I don't know when you're closing the stream, so I just wanted to let you know. It can wait though.
Jim has returned. Jim, you missed everything. Sorry. Just kidding. But I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that we need to share. I think Tal really covered it. And that's what I was hoping for, is more detailed information about, why it started. And what would you say, moving forward into future years, where do you see things going as far as, is there a focus Are you trying to, you said you're revamping the website. Are you trying to focus on anything else in particular or just make it better?
Well, that's a couple of questions. So
I know.
first question, where do I see captive breeding going? I'm going to cover that at MACNA.
Ooh, okay.
I'm speaking there on Friday at 2 something, and I'm covering the past, present, and future of captive breeding. So
We'll leave that there.
The future's interesting. I've contacted quite a few of my mentors and asked them what they think about, where we're going and what's going to be issues, and with the environmental things that are going on right now and legislation that's going on, it's going to be tricky in the future. But as far as the website, what we're trying to do is make it more user friendly to do the whole journal report process, because now it's a little complicated, but it works. It's just hard to figure it out the first time you're getting there, but we're just hopefully going to make it so it's much more user friendly, and the database is going to be there forever. So, well, theoretically, and basically just getting all the information out there so anybody that's interested can find it. That's the main thing behind the whole MBI. And sure, freely, you don't have to pay for it. I mean, you can donate if you want, but the information is searchable by anyone with a computer that can reach the site. So just making it more user friendly is my goal for working with the website itself.
Gotcha. Well, now I'm going to ask the most important question of the night. What are you drinking? Which wine are you on?
I'm not drinking wine right now. Like I said, I just woke up from my nap.
Oh, okay. All
I'm
right.
sorry. And I apologize for being late. I laid down after dinner, and it's like I woke up and I'm like, oh, it's almost dark. I'm like, oh shit. And
It's
I get up.
In a particularly frisky vintage of Coca-Cola.
Oh, woohoo.
Well, I told everyone earlier, and no worries, because this was a very informal, just hanging out, chatting, talking about what's going on. But I did tell everyone at the beginning about First Leaf. Is that it? First Leaf, and I realized that when you commented on my post earlier, you were talking about a different club. Are you part of multiple?
No, I'm only part of Knocking Point.
Okay. Well, where did I get First Leaf?
I don't know.
I'm like,
the wine club I'm in, it's called Knocking Point. And if any of you guys watch the show called Arrow on the CW, and the star Stephen Amell, he is I'm a big fan of his, but he's not just an actor. I mean, he does some amazing charity work. He does a lot of work for a group called F Cancer, and his mom is a 2-time cancer survivor. So he started supporting them, and he did a t-shirt campaign probably 3 or 4 years ago and raised like $1.25 million for them.
wow.
Just by selling t-shirts. And he's done a couple since then. But him and his buddy started a wine business in Walla Walla, Washington. And they do all their own wines. They create their own labels. And it's like about $100 per quarter. And they usually ship you 2, 3, sometimes 4 bottles. And then there's other stuff. They have their coffee. Sometimes you get socks. This month I got a t-shirt. And they've sent out like wine keys or wine coolers, all different things. So, and it's fun.
Well, I'm switching. I feel I don't know how I got the wrong link, but I'm switching because this sounds like a better club. I'm sure they will know my taste just as well. I was really impressed that the first place knew my taste, but I'm switching. So we'll get into that. Someone asked about sea dragons. Dan said yes on the sea dragons. Were there any other questions about MBI really quick? And then we can, if not, move forward to other questions. Anybody?
As a side thing, Colby's not going to be speaking specifically about sea dragons.
Right.
But if you're at the workshop, he just came back from a conference in Georgia 2 weeks ago. It was about sea dragons. So if you want to bug him, that's
exactly
the time to do it. Yeah.
That's what I was talking earlier about the fact that like last year I went because I was trying to breed seahorses and I wanted to learn, just more about breeding in general. And I ended up learning so much more than I could have ever hoped for. And the other side note is that you get to meet people like, I don't know who's coming this year, but last year I got to spend time with Chad Clayton. I got to learn so much about phyto and pods and live feeds and different options that I didn't even know were available. And there's all these like side advantages and side benefits to going to this event that, that people don't really broadcast. So I'm trying to broadcast it. Exactly. Talking to the people on the sidelines is huge.
Um, yeah, that's part of it too. A lot of people say, can I watch online? Can you put it, do a live stream? And it's like, I could, but one, that's gonna just incentivize people to come and actually get the full experience. I mean, I can understand that people are in different continents, or the Philippines or Australia or whatever, but I mean, I do put up videos from the talks. They're not complete videos because cameras don't last forever, and I do put up photos. But the main thing is actually what you said. Meeting people there that you don't expect to meet, and talking to them and learning things that you didn't know you wanted to learn.
Mm-hmm.
This year we have Matt Carberry from Sustainable Aquatics is going to be there talking about the pelagic fish they've been working with and are producing now. And of course, Dan's going to be there, so he needs no introduction to this group.
Mm-mm.
And actually, Dan, I think I told you this before, but you were like one of the most popular speakers that I ever got feedback on throughout this whole time. And I know when you were
That
here,
blows me away.
well, when you were here the first time, it was like you hadn't done a talk in a long time, and you were a little worried about it. I'm like, don't worry about it. And after that event, everybody's like just still raving about you. So I'm so glad you could come back this year.
Well, I'm happy to come back, and I'm really glad I get to go. I've wanted to go every year. I just haven't been able to pull it off.
Yeah, I know it's tricky. Our other speaker is Ramon Villaverde from the Columbus Zoo, and he's going to be talking a lot about doing things on a budget, setting up your breeding systems without spending, $5,000 and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of try to cover a wide variety of topics, just breeding specific and breeding related. Chad Clayton, as far as I know, he'll be here. He's not speaking, but he'll be here. And I think Andy Ryan will probably be here. And if anybody's met Andy, he never shuts up. Once you get him going, he can go on for hours talking about fish. So it's a good bunch of people with a wide variety of interests that everyone should learn something from.
Absolutely.
Let's have fun.
Absolutely. Dan, last year, when I asked, I was just getting into, I was just starting expanding from hobbyist to whatever the heck I am at this point. And I asked Dan's advice as my seahorse mentor, which events I should really be attending. And his answer was immediately MBI. That's it. MBI, first and foremost. Then MACNA, but MBI first.
Cool.
It's definitely a keeper.
I should say that the tickets for normal adults are $45. That includes all the speakers on Saturday, the Friday night. What do you guys do? The Friday night reception includes light appetizers, lunch on Saturday, and then the barbecue on Sunday. So for $45, that's a pretty good deal.
I did have a question earlier. If someone cannot come, it was Tina, I think. If someone has something going on the 21st, I'm sorry, not the 20. Yeah, is it the 21st? I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Then can they? Is there a way to come to portions of the event, or do you have to buy all or none?
Are they local?
Could you come to? I think she had to go. She was in here a little bit ago, but I believe she's pretty close, and her husband's birthday is the 21st, but she's wanting to still come to the barbecue if possible. So I didn't know what to tell her.
I don't see a problem with that.
Okay. All right.
Just give her my contact information and have her give me a shout.
I will.
It's kind of nice to know how many people I'm expecting. Right now, this happens every year. I get freaked out like the middle of June because I haven't sold very many tickets, and then all of a sudden by the middle of July, I'm like filled up. But it's really hard to plan when I don't know how many people are coming because I have to order lunch on Saturday, and I have to plan how much food to have on Sunday. So the sooner you get your tickets, hint, everybody, it's better for me. It just makes my life a lot easier. So,
And I did make clear earlier that, you know, if there's any type of streaming, it would be only the Seahorse and Pipefish meeting. It will not be the speakers and events. So anyone
Right.
hoping that I was going to stream that, I'm not. So you got to come. And Coral Vids just piped up. I wanted to clarify really quickly that when Dan advised me which activities to attend for the year, he knew that I was focused on breeding, which is why he told me to go to MBI and then MACNA. Someone with different, you know, coral, you know, not looking at breeding, it's different.
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify because MACNA is also being listed.
There is a question. Pygmy seahorses, I'm guessing, are different than dwarf. Has anybody had those?
Yes. They've been kept in a couple of public aquariums, but they're not something that are suitable for the hobbyist. You're not. They have a symbiotic relationship with the little corals that they live on.
Rich has them, doesn't he?
I think they may have. I don't remember which one. I know that there was 2 public aquariums that had them, and one of them was successful in keeping them. And it probably was Rich. He's done a lot of cool stuff.
Him or what's her name in Dallas? She might have done it too.
No, it was. I think it was California, so it was
Okay.
probably Rich.
Could be. Cool. All right. Well, I will let you guys go. If anyone has any questions, just hit me up. I'm pretty much always around. And like I said, reserve your rooms before the end of this month to get our rate. Everything's on the workshop website. So if it's not there, I don't know or I forgot it. So contact me.
I'll put all the links in the description. Tal, thank you so much for coming in, and I really appreciate it. And I'll make sure to, you know, use this to spread some news and get people coming if I can, for sure.
Sounds great. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I apologize for being late.
No worries. And I'm switching my wine, but cheers.
All right. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. Hope to see you in July.
Nice to meet you, Tal.
You too. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so then what I'm going to do is, were there any final questions that you want on the stream? Anyone? Or did you
I
want?
wanted to ask Dan something.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Dan, I wanted to ask you. I wild collect, so actually, I'm kind of experimenting with how to safely wild collect, just for my own, not commercially or anything, just for my own on a hobbyist level, let's say. If I had a locally shipped fish, or could also apply to a seahorse, but let's say I didn't open the bag. And let's say, let's just assume that the bag wouldn't collapse. If I put the bag in the water and made a couple holes in the bag under the water surface, wouldn't that avoid the chemical reaction we were talking about with the ammonia before, and allow it to acclimate slowly?
I don't think so, and I also think you might run the risk of the bag collapsing.
Let's say it doesn't. Let's just humor me.
Well, if it doesn't, then I don't know how much water exchange there's going to be and how much reaction there's going to be. Are you talking about collecting stuff yourself and putting them in a bag?
I don't know if it would be a bag, but I just want to use a bag for basically visual purposes, so everybody can understand what I'm saying. Like when I say make a hole under the surface of the water.
Sure.
But it could be anything. It could be plastic.
I've never tried that. When I've done my own collecting, I've taken buckets with me with suitable airlines, and anything I've ever collected myself, I've had 100% success rate with. Having stuff shipped in that was collected elsewhere is probably 50% success rate in keeping. You know, it's a big difference when you collect it yourself and take it straight back to the tank. As far as what you're asking with the bag, I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I might. It's interesting enough that I might try a couple of experiments with it to see what happens.
Basically, what I'm doing is I'm trying to see, because some of the, like, sometimes I get stuck in traffic because there's a lot of traffic here. It's ridiculous, maybe as I'd sound, but I get stuck in traffic, and then the animals and I'm like when I say animals, it's not like I'm bringing them in bucket loads. I don't want it to sound like that, but the few animals that I carefully collect, put it that way, sometimes don't come in as nice as I would want them to. So I wanna try to. I'm trying to make it basically stress free. See if I can do that. Even
Right.
if there's if the time goes over the expected. Let's say I expect to travel 2 hours. Let's say I end up being double 4 hours. I want a way to like I could I could take a here we can get oxygen. So I could easily put a smaller oxygen tank, and trickle O2 oxygen in whatever. Let's say it's a cooler, right? Let's say it's a, you know what I mean by cooler, right? A
Yep.
beer
Yep.
cooler, yeah. So I could trickle oxygen into that, but um, it's bulky. I'm trying to find a way that the simplest way I can do it.
We the way that I used to do it was extremely simple, and I had a large air pump on the boat that ran off the batteries, and
Right.
I had multiple buckets, and we would go out in the mornings, and in the morning time we would go out and do our collecting if we were doing any collecting, and whatever we collected we kept in the bucket, and then we went and parked the boat over with the group on the sandbar, and the basic rule was we didn't go home until the cooler was empty. And sometimes that was 8, 9 o'clock at night. And we would come home and then acclimate, really wouldn't acclimate. We would temperature acclimate and put them in the tank. And for them being in a bucket that long, I would monitor the temperature of the bucket. If the bucket started getting warm, I would do some water changes, with the water. But
Yeah, if you're on
they,
a boat, you can do that because you should dip a bucket in the water and swap out the water. When I'm on a boat,
right,
that's what I do too.
right. But they would be in a bucket for um, at least 9, 10 hours, sometimes longer. And I never had a problem with doing it that way.
I think it's
Now,
because
of course,
the lid is closed, so there's not really that much air exchange.
well, what I did with the buckets was I actually take buckets that have lids and I drill a small hole so I could stick a rigid airline down in the hole.
Exactly,
And
exactly what I do. Exactly what I do. Okay, go
yeah,
ahead.
so if you're pumping air in there, it doesn't matter whether it's an air pump or pure oxygen. You're still getting an air exchange.
Right.
It's not overly difficult. If you watch what the guys, most of the seahorses that are sold in the U.S. that are wild caught are bycatch from the guys catching bait. And
Exactly. Exactly.
essentially,
Exactly. You read my
right, but
mind. Right on.
right. So what they're doing is they're primarily using different types of nets, cast nets and trawls and what have you. And the animals get beat up quite a bit. And when they sort the net, they have different buckets that they drop the stuff into, or I should say
Exactly.
containers. And the seahorses, they drop them in a 5-gallon bucket, and they really don't get much care, much aeration, or anything else. And I'm surprised at how many actually do survive.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
quickly,
I have a lot more to say, but go ahead. Anybody else?
no, you're fine, and we can continue this once we end the stream. I wanted to answer really quickly. Aaron asked if you could choose between one frozen food and another, which would it be, mysis or adult brine shrimp? Lucie gave my exact answer, and this is a joint effort, so go Lucie. But definitely mysis, unless Artemia and Jim backed this up with unless you can enhance Artemia, there's just no point. They have no nutritional value, or if it is, it's so slim that
I disagree.
well, tell me what
I
it is,
disagree.
Dan.
Okay. Brine shrimp actually do have nutritional value. The problem is where they're lacking in the value is in the DHA component of the huffas. To give you an idea, let me pull it up here. I got into this conversation with somebody else. Let's take Hikari mysis, for example.
Okay.
Hikari mysis has 6 point by dry weight. Hikari has 6.7% percentage of fat and 70% protein. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
PE Mysis is 8.35% fats, 69.5% protein.
Okay.
Brine shrimp, on the other hand, can vary greatly, but if you buy the frozen brine shrimp, for example, the Hikari brine shrimp is 10.7% fats, and that's more than either PE or Hikari, and the protein is 48.6. The protein can vary greatly. It can go all the way up to around 70%, and the fats can vary from anywhere from 3 to 10%. So, from a protein standpoint, uh, Artemia has a lot of nutritional value. The fats, it's got a lot of EPA, but it has almost no DHA. So if you take adult brine shrimp and you, or even Nauplii, if you enrich it properly, you can bring the fat levels, the DHA levels up. But everybody says brine shrimp doesn't have any value. It does have value. It just doesn't have the complete value. And of course, what we also don't know is the, as far as enzymes and various vitamins and stuff. And the fats, when you look at packaging, they always give you fats. They don't give you the breakdown of the fats.
No, thank you for the correction, because you're
So-
absolutely right. I wanted to say, to finish up the answer to that, what Dan said is absolutely correct. The reason that I advise personally mysis is because I'm talking to typically hobbyists who won't know what he just said about the fats and the DHA and etc. And so I try to keep it simple, but the basic bottom line is variety is the answer. Talking to people, breeders like Dan, and making sure that you're providing variety. Enrichments are important. We're gonna cover a lot of this in future episodes, but he is correct. There's nutritional value. I shouldn't have said there wasn't. It's just that if if you had to pick one food to feed, and you're talking about strictly frozen foods, I'm still gonna stick with mysis. Um, and hope that people will delve deeper into the issue and look at the fact that you should provide variety, and brine shrimp can provide things that mysis can't, vice versa. And then enrichment plays a key role. So thank you, Dan, for not letting me put out bad information. I always appreciate that. I'm not always right, so stuff happens.
Kelly, can I ask Dan another question?
Absolutely, feel free.
Yeah, Dan, you said you would enrich? What would you enrich with? Like, what would you gut load with? I mean,
Well,
brine shrimp.
are you in the Philippines?
I am. I
Okay.
use krill, by the way. I use krill, so but
Yeah.
I'm interested in knowing.
Well, the best thing for you probably in the area that you're in is to see if you can get a hold of any of Mbi's Celco products. Super easy DHA Celco is a very good product. Most of Mbi's products are good. The problem with the Celcos, especially if you get the liquids, is they have a short shelf life of about 30 days once opened. If you can get a powdered enrichment that is high in DHA, then that would be ideal because it'll have a much longer shelf life.
Understood. Thanks.
So thank you everyone for coming. I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream so that more questions can be asked, in the private conversation afterwards, and we will continue and talk about this in the future. But everyone, buy your tickets to the Marine Breeding Initiative workshop. Get them now. You don't have much time left. And we will talk further about the Seahorse and Pipefish meeting that is going to occur at noon on Sunday. And I'll give more details about that coming soon. And if you have any thoughts or opinions, please message me. But I'm going to end the stream, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Everybody have a happy Wine Wednesday and get your butts to MBI. Thank you. Cheers.